All right, listener, you opened up. Let's talk about it. There's a thing today called gentle parenting. My last job, I was working at Premier Martial Arts, which is a McDojo of the highest kind. And the first thing you learn about parents today is you can't yell at their children. Children cry when they want, act out when they want, and that's okay. And martial arts tames that. That's what martial arts is for. So, when I would teach class, I was a program director, but when I would teach class, I'd enforce that discipline pretty strongly, which set the owners and the rest of the management team off in a frenzy of, oh, what do we do about Derek? He doesn't understand how to treat kids. Well, I would give that they don't understand how to treat kids. Kids love boundaries, right? Like, it's one of the reasons, like, the worst kids that come into your class love you the most because you set those boundaries. The ones that say swear words at you are soon the ones who love you because there are boundaries in your class rather than being able to act out at home like they're able to. So, I worry for this entire generation of little miniatures that are out there. Now, you're talking about the teens and 20 somethings that are fighters. I will tell you this, guys. Do you know where light sparring came from? And I'm not saying that it's useless. I like it very much now that I'm old and I don't want to get any more brain damage that I've already had and I get hit in the head all the time. But the reality is that light sparring came from the fact that MMA got so popular. Guys that didn't want to get in the head started doing it. So then everybody came up with light sparring. It actually works pretty well. It works good for your cardio. The one thing it doesn't work well for is when you get in a fight, how are you going to feel, right? So if you don't practice how you train, it's very difficult. That's why guys like Sean Strickland, Alex Pereira, guys like that actually fight how they spar in the gyms, right? And it's very successful for them. I know it's not for everybody, but because fighting's so popular and everybody's doing it now, light sparring is everywhere, which is good for me at this stage in my career. I was a savage when I was younger, and a lot of guys didn't want to fight with me. Some guys did. Joey Beltran loved the fact that I was equally as savage as him. A lot of other guys did not, and I understand that. It's this generation in which they've been raised in. For the next generation, I'm even more worried. Now, that is not to say there aren't good fighters. What has also happened as that has happened? Well, instead of just big tough guys like me being involved in fighting, there's a whole generation of really good athletes. John Jones being the most notable in the UFC to take over. But now the kids that maybe don't want to get hit, maybe they're jiu-jitsu guys, but they're absolutely sensational athletes. So, they knock people off the block in fights all the time, and that's great. I love it. But make no mistake about it, this generation is much softer than the one before it, and I think the one before that was softer than that one. It's just because living is harder. We're so rich in the world today that it makes us into a bunch of pansies. You want proof? Look around you. Everybody, read my book, Warrior of the